You know what? I will give you the secret for free. And I will because I think the information's always out there, isn't it, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's implementing it. That's the problem, which we can talk about if we want.
Welcome to Bullhorns and Bullseyes, the podcast where precision meets promotion. I'm Tom Nixon.
And I'm Curtis Hayes.
We're thrilled to have you join us as we discuss the ever-evolving world of sales and marketing. Every week, Curtis and I bring our own specific experiences and expertise, along with a special guest who has stories to tell and lessons learned to share. We're here to help you with strategies that hit the mark and amplify the marketing. Before we kick off today's episode, make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay in the loop. And if you find our discussions on target, leave us a review. Your feedback means a lot to us. Now get ready for insights, tips, and conversations that will up your marketing game. It's Bullhorns and Bullseyes with Curtis Hayes and Tom Nixon. Let's ride. Welcome back, everyone, to Bullhorns and Bullseyes. Curtis, I have a question for you.
Yeah, I'm ready to answer.
Okay, it might be a series of questions, but you and I often talk about insights. Sometimes we're talking about client perspectives and thought leadership. Sometimes we're talking about the insights you can get from data. But I'm looking at your handsome new vest, which is not officially sanctioned Bullhorns and Bullseyes merch. But I got to ask, what is insight? I love the spelling.
I know we don't quite have sponsors yet. Maybe someday we will. But Insight is a good friend of mine who founded Insight Analytics about 10 plus years ago. And when I went out on my own, he was a great mentor. Actually, was one of my first customers. And he's got a new CEO. She's been in there about a year, Rita Brasler. She's been with him for like the last 10 years. So Insight does custom data analytics for big companies, like the big stuff. They don't play in our sort of small, medium business world. They're working with Fortune companies and doing some real fun stuff on the analytics side.
Yeah.
But it's a great company to work for. They're headquartered here in Michigan out of Farmington Hills, but they employ people all over the world. And I now have 3 people I've referred to them over the last 7 years that have full-time jobs. One of our colleagues, so I'll leave nameless, but their brother now just got hired. And so this was my commission for the talent acquisition, was this awesome vest. And I've been wearing it the last few days. And I said, hey, I'll give you guys a little plug and I'll wear it on the podcast. So Matt Griffin, Rita Brasler, hats to you.
Yes, hats on to you. Hats off for me. All right, so we're not allowed to bill this advertiser. Okay, I got you.
I cannot bill them for this, no.
Okay, good. All right, well, that's good. Well, let's pivot now from insights to talk about a topic that is very near and dear to my heart as somebody who works with a lot of small businesses, medium-sized businesses as well, but mostly in my world, B2B, and even within B2B, it's almost exclusively professional services. So for them, the lifeline, lifeblood of their business is referrals. And I think referrals are something that you should not either bank as a given or shy away from because it doesn't feel like marketing. And sometimes I think my clients and others like them overlook this as, yes, we got plenty of referrals, but now let's go do something else. And my question is, why don't you just go grease the skids for more of what you got? So we are going to find out from today's guest if I'm right or wrong. Usually it's not right, but who do we have on today, Curtis?
We have Michelle Blakely with us, who's going to be a great person to talk to about this. We mentioned it briefly in a previous podcast, I think with Matt Loria. We talked that, sometimes your best business or your, especially when starting out, tapping into your current network is the best place to go. And then sort of kind of how do you branch out from that? But yeah, how do you continue to use that network? So Michelle Blakely, I met about 10 years ago when I first went out on my own. We met through the wonderful Tricia Meyer. And she's a great attorney in the Chicagoland area. And again, that was a referral. Tricia introduced me and Michelle, and I started helping Michelle with some SEO. So Michelle had Blakely Fit, where she was a trainer and trained people in the fitness space. And then she took those insights and, practices of building a business of her own into C, Jake, and Jane Train to train other trainers on how to run their businesses and grow their businesses. So, Michelle, it's great to have you on the show today, and excited about all the things we're going to talk about.
It's wonderful to be here. It's so great to meet you, Tom. I've heard you a few times on the podcast, and I have to laugh because as you're describing like my company journey, Curtis, I'm reminded of the challenge we were stuck with in trying to get the SEO right because, right, I was a trainer to the trainers, but we weren't looking for, right? So like just getting all of that. You had a tough job ahead of you on that one. But yeah, I'm thrilled to be here. I love all of this stuff. So I'm delighted to talk about it.
Well, cool. Well, you heard me at the outset say that I wanted to dive into this topic of referrals and testimonials. Before we get into, because you offer 2 courses in this area, which we'll get into. But before we do that, just if you would react to kind of what I said in terms of what I've experienced, where a B2B company will hire a marketing agency because they want something completely other than the referrals that drive their business. And it's almost like like I said, they kind of, that's money in the bank, but what else should we do? And not that they shouldn't do other things, but it's like, I want to usually hit pause and say, wait, why are referrals the lifeblood of your business? How are you getting them now? Are you getting 100% of those that are out there? If you're already getting 100% of those, then yes, let's move out or move on. But my sense is you're probably only getting 10% of the available referrals. So what do you think, and what have you experienced in that realm?
I love that you brought that up. And one of the things that I encourage all of my small business owners to do, because I'm a small business coach in addition to having courses, is audit their efforts, right? You guys had that episode on marketing attribution. Is that right? Mm-hmm. And I got so excited when I heard that because you were talking about it in a very specific vein. But one of the things, Tom, I encourage them to do is to audit. I'm a data girl, right? I'm high, empathy for things, high EQ, but I really care about, well, what are the numbers showing us, right? And honestly, what I think happens, and I'd love to hear you guys disagree or agree with this, is business owners see some things that are working, but then they get very charmed by the power of what something else could do. And it may or may not be true, but it's a very enticing, kind of pitch or commercial or something that they've seen. And they think, oh, well, we don't want to miss out. We should be doing that too. And that's fine. I'm okay. I green like that with all my small business owners, as long as they've audited, has something like that worked for you in a past? Do you have things set up? So if that works, you're actually going to sign the people on, you're going to onboard them, right? So I think that what's really important in the referral marketing space, especially, Tom, this is great, if you have companies that are already getting a lot of referrals without necessarily a lot of effort. If that's the case, I'm guessing no, they are not getting 100% of the referrals that are out there, because there is really a nuanced way to do it well, in my opinion. And if it's kind of on autopilot, you might not be capitalizing on all the great referrals you could be getting. And I absolutely would recommend you just pour more energy into that. What do you guys think?
Well, you're sort of speaking Curtis's language now in terms of analyzing data and tracking conversions and where that behavior goes. Curtis, I'm curious what you think. Same premise that I posed to Michelle, but in terms of data and analytics, you'll hear, or I'll hear from clients, we got a bunch of new business in this month. This is our best month ever, but all of it's referrals. None of it's from the marketing. Really? So are there tricks to the analytics trade that you're like, well, let's do a better job of connecting those dots, or maybe assigning some attribution?
Yeah, exactly. I think assigning some attribution is important. I think there's some auto tracking or sort of auto tagging if you're using a CRM, and some things that you might be able to do. I think specifically asking, which we have a client right now that's actually doing sort of a deeper dive. This is actually a law firm who has their sort of onboarding intake person who's asking more than just, how did you hear about us? And they say Google. He doesn't stop at, oh, you heard about us from Google. He says, was it an ad? What did you search for? when you came to the website, what moved you to, want to reach out, right? So diving deeper, and then that is data that they're putting into their, I don't know if you'd call it a case management system per se, but they do have a system that's like a CRM to track. And so now when we get a call and we talk about marketing, we can talk more specifically about the things that might be working or not working, and talking about the things that are resonating with people. Because there's actually, this client in particular spent roughly $10,000 last year in some video content. You helped script, I think, some of it. We had a film crew come out and record some of it. And it's actually two specific videos and very specific messaging that's in those videos that this person is finding is actually resonating with people, whether they come in through a referral or they come in, organically or through one of our advertising. That's some insights that they then have some understanding of what's really moving people to action. A little bit more of that journey we talked about this last week.
Right. Yep.
The storytelling.
Which we may come back to if I have my way anyways. All right. So Michelle, so you offer 2 courses in this area. I want to learn more about them. I'm on the website now, which we will link to in the show notes, but I want to read this line. It says, "Discover the secret to referral marketing." So you're probably not going to give us the secret for free, but what does this mean?
Sure,
Discover the secret.
You know what? I will give you the secret for free. And I will, because I think the information's always out there, isn't it, guys? Mm-hmm. Right? It's implementing it. That's the problem. And if you put some money down to buy a course, you're probably then going to implement it, because you're going to kick yourself if you didn't do the thing. So honestly, there's a few, but I would say one of the secrets is how you ask for either of these things, right? Because it actually used to be 2 courses, and I split it because they were slightly different and I didn't want to overload people, right? So one's testimonials and one's referrals. But there was this great book I stumbled upon, and it was called Exactly What to Say. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's a little bit off the radar, but it's a sales book. And one of the things, I'm sure it doesn't appeal to everyone, but one of the awesome things he taught you was less is more. And don't apologizing for just asking for the thing. Another element in there was shut up, stop talking. When you ask someone something, just wait, don't get nervous, just let them answer, right? Mm-hmm. So I would say one of the secrets is to ask for it, and to ask for it very directly and very succinctly, and then wait for the answer, and then have a plan for how you're going to make sure it happens, right? So let's take, for example, and this relates to, Tom, what you were saying to Curtis, right? Let's take the referral marketing. I advise my clients, you don't just want more clients, you want more ideal clients. So I actually make them sit down and list like their last 10 favorite clients for the last 6 months, right? Because I'm really, really on the microcosm here, guys. Like maybe I have some companies that have teams of 10 people, but I'm dealing with a lot with solo entrepreneurs. So I don't want them just to have more clients. I want them to have ideal clients. So that I want them to list, right? And then trace back exactly like you were saying, Curtis, exactly where did they come from, right? So I won an award with my first company. And every time that award came up again each year, all of a sudden I'd be like, why am I getting all these inquiries? And it was because my search went up, right? Because I had won that award. But you have to think that through and realize the value of it. So anyway, I make them list their ideal clients, understand where they came from, and then ask those clients. Because some clients we have are, let's say, not ideal, right? Is that the technical way to say it? And we don't necessarily want more of those, or we're pivoting the company and we're trying to obtain more, right? Like right now, I specialize in fitness and wellness companies, but I've gotten a lot of requests from salons and medical practices and things, which I am working with, right? So let's say in a year I pivot to open it up more, then that would change that for me. But when you add the key to what I was saying, when you ask for that referral, if you take one nugget from anything I say today, I'm going to ask you to do something very counterintuitive, and I'm going to tell you to just ask for one. Don't say, hey, could you send me 5 people like you? Hey, could you, I'll give you a gift or an award for sending, whoever sends the most referrals my way. No, you just ask for one, and then you have a clear plan for the follow-up. That would be definitely one of the secrets. And then a subsequent secret is the gratitude part, which we can talk about if we want.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about the marketing funnel in the prior episode, and we were talking specifically, I guess it was 2 episodes ago, but we're talking specifically about messaging and how you align messaging with the traditional sales funnel. And if you don't know what that is, go back and listen to that podcast and then come back and just bookmark your spot. But the reason I wanted to bring that up is because I feel like referral marketing and testimonial marketing lives in 2 places: the middle of the funnel, right? So the people who are already in your funnel, it could be clients, it could be prospects, it just could be friends, associates, other people who referred to you. So they're moved well beyond awareness, and they've probably even passed consideration, and now they're in that preference part of the funnel. So I'll come back to that in a minute. And then there's the flip the funnel concept. So have you read the book Flip the Funnel? If you take the sales funnel and all the people that went all the way to the bottom, right, and they converted and now they're a client, and then you take another funnel and you tip it upside down and imagine that funnel being theirs, now you have advocates. And this is what you're asking for. You're asking for your advocates to go out and tell other people who should be aware, right, that this is the greatest company in the world. So I want to pick your brain on aside from asking, because I think sometimes that makes people uncomfortable. So I'm not going to suggest you shouldn't be asking. I love that. I don't think clients ask enough. But are there other things that you could do in the middle of the funnel? And I'm thinking of something very traditional and boring, like a newsletter that once a month reminds people of why you're smart, the problems that you solve. It keeps you top of mind for the people in that funnel, so that when somebody says, hey, do you know of a good trainer who, might be able to train my team on referrals? The first person I'm thinking of is the person who sent me a monthly email, because I don't even have to think about it. I don't have to prove it. So is part of your training like the other things that you could do aside from asking, but maybe just validating that you're referral worthy?
I think it absolutely could be that. In this particular course, it's very it's very, very simplified. It's just the marrow of how to get this done, because so many aren't getting it done. Mm-hmm. But I absolutely endorse that. With my first company, I fumbled through newsletters, right? So this is back in 2001. Fumbled through a newsletter. Oh my God, they were so big. They were too long. There was too much stuff, right? Remember when you'd be in the middle of the edit process and you lose half your stuff? Right. I ended up where that began. So yes, I agree with you, Tom. And I think the key is something that's said all the time: quality content. Position yourself as a quality resource, right? And so for me, I had a newsletter. It was called Friday Quickies. Came out every single Friday morning. And again, it was this big cumbersome thing at first. And then when I got to the point of titling that, I was going to make myself give quality content every Friday morning. And yes, I was a personal trainer, but it touched on a lot of things that were very much related, right? So stress management and, easy, healthy eating, and this new fad that's coming out, how to really evaluate it, and, heart health, and right. So there's lots of things. It rarely ever asked for business. Right. It was so I think that's the key, right? It's quality content, because I'm continually positioning myself as someone you could trust, someone that gets you, and someone that wants to help, right? So whatever industry you're in, I think that's valuable. Yes, of course, there's a link at the bottom, to schedule a call with me or to sign up or whatnot. But the newsletter or the social media posts or what have you, if it's all about you, which happens a lot in the fitness industry, mm-hmm. or if it's just pitching your stuff, I don't think it's going to function in the way that you're recommending, right, Tom. So I would put that caveat on it.
Great point.
Right? It's got to be about, how can I help? How am I helping? Here, take a look at this. Here, try this. Yeah. And then no, sorry, really quickly, something I do with some of my clients is I see if they can overlap it into the existing client base. So like one client, of course, I receive her email newsletters, and she was talking about there's a specific kind of self-massage, right? And so she has group classes every Saturday, and it's like a Saturday squad, right? It's this like group of women that are committed to coming to make time for themselves. So I was like, Jenna, bring little bottles of your favorite oil to all of them to like marry with that, information. So there's lots of ways you can make it, I think, fun and of high value to your people. And yes, you're exactly right, Tom. Then that plants you as someone that's in their mind when someone else is asking, oh, hey, do you know of a good website designer or a hairstylist or what have you?
It also makes the ask for those who are uncomfortable asking. I would think, if you make 4 deposits before you make a withdrawal, which is what people say, it makes the withdrawal a lot more comfortable because you've already demonstrated value. And now you're just, you can see even from the analytics, right, who is responding to your content. You could maybe ask Joe Blow. He keeps clicking on every article every month. Maybe Joe Blow knows somebody, right? He's an ideal client. Curtis, I wanted to change the subject real quickly, slightly to testimonials. In your case, Curtis, reviews, which are public testimonials like Google reviews. And can you talk a little bit about how Google reviews can move the needle from an SEO standpoint,
Sure.
In a page rank visibility standpoint?
Yeah, and I want to add what you said about the funnel is accurate, and we talked about that last week. The RACE methodology, which I use, which at the bottom of the funnel is engaged. So after you convert a customer, that engagement is how do you turn those customers into repeat customers or loyal customers that refer business, that leave testimonials, that can support your brand in a number of ways. And so reviews on, say, Google or your social media, Facebook supports reviews, whether you're in professional services, whether you sell a product. The data shows I think it's well over 80% of consumers, before they make a purchase, research the brand. They want to make sure that this is a brand that they can trust. And so they're going to look at reviews before they make a purchase decision somewhere through the funnel, whether it's in the marketing funnel or the sales funnel. Mm-hmm. So these reviews help you there. But Google and the platforms, whether it's search, because you could include, Bing has a business profile and you can get reviews on Bing. You have Facebook and those types of things as well. They understand, and it's part of their algorithms that this consumer behavior is important. And so the more reviews you have, the more likely then your position for your business when somebody just does a general search, attorneys, personal injury attorneys near me, right? The attorneys with more reviews are going to be at the top than somebody with just 2 or 3. So we'll use Mario as an example, who was on our first 3 episodes, home care business in the state of Connecticut. 5 years ago, they had about 30 reviews, maybe a 4.5-star rating. There was no proactive implementation. It wasn't part of the process, like you said, Michelle. They implemented a process in the follow-up after onboarding with clients. They now have over 330 reviews, a 4.9 rating. They're just asking. And they've made that ask as part of the process. And that feedback is used then in the organization. Like it's not just asking just to simply get better rankings. Yes, that is a benefit, but they're replying to reviews. They're actively engaging with those people. If they get a bad review, they're going to contact that customer and do something about it. So, those are all things that are helping to support the brand and the culture of the brand and all those things.
So, Michelle, if I'm assuming public reviews are part of your sort of ecosystem of testimonials and things like that. So we know the secret to asking for referrals. What are the secrets to getting testimonials? Come on, give it all to us for free.
It's a very similar secret, Tom. So I do think you really want to ask, right? And I think that's a key part of it. I also think, and in the referrals, I actually advise in the course that you think it through first, but you actually have a gift. You actually have a thank you gift. So I had someone buy my $2,000 course today, and I'm sending a gift because that was strictly a referral from an existing client, right? It's going to be a nice gift because you do want to do the math on that, right? But in terms of testimonials, right, what do I think is the number one secret? I think you have to make it as easy as possible for people, right? We're all very busy. So I use a cleaning service, single working mom. I use a cleaning service, although everyone should use one if you can.
Saved my marriage.
Yeah, right. So many exponential benefits. They're not marketing, right, guys? They need to be marketing that. Save it, put it right there next to divorce attorneys. But one of the things they do, and I understand it, right? They give me like a piece of paper that asks for my 5-star review, right? Great. And I did post the review because I love these women, right? Amy Poehler says every working mom needs a wife. So the problem though, is they actually want me to update the review. Okay, because that helps them. But there's nothing digital. There's nothing easy about it, right? I would have to take the piece of paper, remember to log in, right? So you want to make it easy, right? If you've got a QR code at the exit of your gym or your spa or your, car rental place or whatever it is, right? If you're sending it in an email, make sure the link to exactly the Google My Business page you want them to do is there. Make sure it's set up. Make sure your pictures are accurate. Make sure they don't feel like all of a sudden, wait, is this the right place? And then exactly what we were saying in the, kind of referral marketing idea, you want to make sure they know that you appreciate it, right? Because they took the time to do it. To make it easy, in the course, we kind of take you through day by day what to do. It's just a little over a week. But I even have like the copy done for you for a reminder. Like, hey, Joe, thank you so much for saying you would write a testimonial. I know you haven't been able to get to it yet. Here's some sample copy that Jim wrote in case it helps, right? You really want to, I would say, spoon feed it to people. I've also even had clients where they had an event, right? They have a big fitness event at their facility, or they're doing something, and they've set up a ring light and a camera and an intern who's taking video testimonials right then and there. People are already at the event. It's only going to take them 60 seconds, right? So make it as easy as possible.
I agree. I'm still receiving emails that says, they say something to the effect of, your feedback is important to us. Please fill out the 15-minute survey. And what?
Nope.
I'm not going to do that. I think the smartest thing they ever did is, instead of saying click here for a short survey, they put the little 5 stars, and they made you think that if you clicked the 5th star, you were done. All it did was launch the same thing that the link did. But it's like, all right, well, at least I'm here now. I might as well finish the job.
They tricked you.
Curtis, are there techie ways to make it super easy? Because I have seen when you're on a website where all you have to do is hit the star and they'll stop bothering you. Or they might say, your comments are appreciated. But are there things you've seen from a technology standpoint that facilitate it?
You're 100% accurate, and that make it easy. So that's that user journey, user experience that we've talked about. Make it easy. More likely you're going to get that conversion or engagement that you're looking for. So like Michelle said, if you're going to do your Google business listing, you can link directly to not the business listing, but the prompt to leave the review. So go into your Google business listing, grab that link. It's very easy to get to that. And that's what you're going to add to your newsletter. Or if you're sending a personalized email, like what Mario's team does, that personalized, somewhat templated email, there's a format to it, but that's going to go to that new client 30 days after service. And there's a specific link that everybody knows needs to be added there. It's not find us on Google and leave a review, right? You're not asking them to go back and do a search.
You still see that.
Right?
You still see that all the time.
I know.
It's like, leave us a review on Facebook, and it's the Facebook logo that's not even a link. It's like, wait, what am I doing?
Exactly.
And And I think that's missing the big picture. Like, yes, you have helped them. You have served them well. They are happy with the service you provide, but they paid you for it, like that, like that was the contract. You're asking them to help you, right? Whenever you're asking someone to help you, it's a good idea to make it as easy as possible.
I want to add one more thing that Michelle which ties back to the first thing we launched with was talking about my friend Matt at Insight, right? So this was a gift, and the gift was an appreciation for a referral, not of new business, but an employee, right? So I think that's so key that, if somebody does take the time to either leave a review or to do a referral, even if it's simply you picking up the phone and calling them and saying thank you, like that's 100% go that extra step and do that, because you went all that way. It's the simplest, it's like the great Dave Tier, who's a sales coach, he told us, like, the most difficult thing is the ask, because what's holding you back is fear. Fear of rejection. If I ask for that referral and they say no, you don't want to hear no. So it's that fear of rejection. So you did the hard part. The easy part is to say thank you. So I love what you said there about the gift. Yeah.
You flipped the funnel today, right? Yeah. You've got a podcast with over 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, right? And now Insight, you said I can't bill this guy, so I won't, but no, but you did that because you wanted to.
Sounds like he's a little hung up on that.
I kid. No, but you did it because you wanted. You actually asked me, "Can I do this?" I'm like, "Of course you can do this."
Right.
This is great. So perfect example of why we're here today. Before we let you go, I want to get one last thought out of you for free, or maybe you can bill me, Michelle. I don't know. Day 10 of your course is called Celebrate. What is Celebrate? It's beyond gratitude, because there's another step.
That's right. So I think it's really, that's such a perfect last question, because I thought of this when you were talking about what you were talking about, Curtis, that the struggle is real as small business owners, to continually put yourself out there, to move through fear, to do things we don't entirely know how to do yet, because we're great practitioners, we're not necessarily great business owners. So in that Celebrate Day, I really want my small business owners to take stock of what they did, right? Oh, I've been telling myself I'm going to get more testimonials online, if I really think about it, for 2 years, right? And I haven't done it because it just gets pushed down the to-do list, right? But that they really take time, whether it's, the referrals that they acquired, or the start to referrals that they acquired, or it's the testimonials that are now things that they can use in their own marketing, or things on third-party sites that really lift us up when they're searched online, that they really take stock in the fact that they made the time to do it, they got it done, it worked. And both of those categories, in my mind, are very uplifting to the small business owner, right? When I have a small business owner that's taken a lot of hits that's outside of their control, one of the things we'll do is, I'm like, all right, let's do it. Go dig in the box, go look in the computer. Let's find all those compliments you've gotten in the last year, right? Let's find all those changes and improvements that you've made in client lives, right? To remind us of the value of what we do. Sometimes it's just not in the cards one month or another. So I think taking stock is really important, and that's what that Celebrate Day is about. And if you are going through it with a team, because I do have people do that, right? They've got like 5 trainers that work for them or whatnot, that you take stock of what each other has done, and you congratulate each other and you say thank you for, like, oh my gosh, wow, you knocked it out of the park and got 7 testimonials up, or whatever it was.
I think you make it part of the process, but what you're describing makes it part of the culture. When something's part of the culture, it's ingrained and it's who you are. So getting to this point, this is why you got to take this course, everyone. Getting over this initial hump will get you ingrained, so that this is part of your corporate culture while you're small. And then when you're big, like Mario's company's getting to be, then it's just part of the everyday process. So thank you very much, Michelle, for coming on. The website, everyone, is cjakeandjanetrain.com. bullhornsbullseyes.com. There's all sorts of courses, coaching, training available there. Curtis, thank you for bringing Michelle on. Do I need to send you something?
No, you just need to commit to doing more episodes. That's all.
Oh, geez, that's the easy
I'll
one.
send you the contract.
Curtis actually did. I don't know if you saw him take a sip of water. It was one of those Stanley cups, right?
Yeah.
That has our logo on it. And he gifted that to me at the end of the
Oh,
year.
move it.
I don't know why, just because he's nice. It was kind of a holiday gift, but that's a thing that I use all the time now. And people are asking about it. They're like, what's Bullhorns and Bullseyes? So again, it's flipping the funnel in devious, mysterious ways.
And I'll just add, like, that's what I like about the gift thing sometimes is if you can personalize it. It's way more authentic. It means so much more to the person, on the other end. So Michelle, like your favorite oils that you're advising that other person, like there's something personal about that, because this means something to me. I don't know if it's going to mean something to you, but it creates an authenticity. It's not just here's a gift card, thank you, right? So I think if you can personalize it, it goes so much further, and it just strengthens relationships. So yeah.
Yep. Cool. All right, Michelle Blakely, thank you once again for coming on. You come back again. You've got all these other courses we could talk about. Until next time, we'll thank everyone for, I'm thinking. Perfect way to end. Thank you, everyone,
there you go.
for joining us on this week's episode of Bullhorns and Bullseyes. We'll see you next week.